Hey, what's up, guys? It's February 15th, and it's been a little quiet on the gaming front since November or so. There hasn't been much coming out, but lately there have been a couple games coming out, and there's a lot on the way. Um, just looking ahead, there's SSX, which I'm really looking forward to. Mass Effect 3, of course, which everyone's looking forward to. And then there's like a bunch of littler things that I would like to get, but I probably won't be able to. I don't know, like Silent Hill collection and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot on the way. Um, but I did pick up a couple games recently, so we're gonna do a little video game talk. Not too in depth, just giving my thoughts on the games that I bought recently. Um, I've had a 3DS since last fall or late summer, and I just bought my first retail game for it, Resident Evil Revelations, and I actually just beat the game 5 minutes ago. And I liked it a lot. Resident Evil Revelations. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you want this game, especially if you have a 3DS. You'd be crazy not to get this game. Uh, it kind of combines the old Resident Evil gameplay with the new Resident Evil gameplay. A little bit of a blend of both. I would have liked a little more old, but it sticks closer to the older ones than any of them have since like three. And so, how does that play out? It's the camera and the controls are very similar to 4 and 5, but much of the game is on this I don't know if it's a cruise ship, but this big ship, and it kind of plays out like playing through the mansion or one of the other locations in Resident Evil, and that there's locked doors. You gotta go around your map, figure out which doors you can go in, and get items, and get the right key for the right doors. There's actually a couple puzzles here and there. It's definitely closer in spirit to the older ones than Resident Evil 4 even, and a big improvement over 5. And this is a full-fledged game with very impressive visuals and just production values all around. Part of what's so impressive about this game is that you're playing it on a handheld, and they really pull off a full-fledged Resident Evil game with impressive visuals and music and everything. There are a few, you know, I guess drawbacks and like things they have to work around to make that happen. And so there are like these loading rooms that you go into where like it'll be like a door loading and stuff, and you could tell, and like the frame rate falls apart. The game just starts to stutter, but then once the room opens, the next area opens, it's beautiful and it runs great. Um, it does have a little too much just straight action in it, and at first I was just like, though, this is a throwback to what we love about Resident Evil, or I love about Resident Evil. And I'm like, this is better than 4 or 5. Easily better than 5. I think 4 is a little bit better just because while it lacks the stuff that, the old Resident Evil stuff, it has more memorable, like, enemies and areas and stuff. Like, there's nothing in this that tops the guy with the chainsaw in Resident Evil 4. It just isn't there. But it's a good game. It really is. It's a really fun game. It's $40. It was gonna be 50, and I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a nice blend of the old and new. I only can hope Resident Evil 6 is something like this. I kind of doubt it based on the trailer. It looks like they're going more action, but maybe it was the limitations or something in the 3DS that made them go, "Hey, we'll retain some of the modern elements we threw in, but let's try to also make a bit of an homage to where the series came from and what a lot of fans like me would prefer it went back to, honestly." But yeah, a good game, full game, 11 hours for me to complete the campaign. Um, Ridiculous story and stuff. Although they do have this really cool thing that I hope they continue doing, where Every time you beat a chapter before the next one starts, it's like previously on Resident Evil Revelations, and they show you like it's like a TV show, kind of like how they did with Alan Wake. Except what's even cooler with this is every time you turn off the system and you turn the game back on, it'll do that previously on no matter where you are in the chapters. It'll do that again for you. That's something I just like to see in games in general more, just to keep you up on the story. Even though the story in this is just I don't know what the fuck happened. Something with terrorists and a ship and there's a city underwater and you know twists. I don't know, but uh, overall I really loved it. My favorite 3DS game. Granted, it's the only one I own, but I have played others. Like I played Super Mario 3D Land, and I like this even more than that. I think if you're a Resident Evil fan, pick this up for sure. Other than that, there is once you beat it, there is a co-op mode that's unlocked um, called the raid mode, and I haven't, like I said, I just beat the game. I haven't tried it out yet, but I will check it out. I heard it's kind of cool. I wonder how deep it is or how much you can get into it. There's also like this Street Pass missions exchange thing going on, which I'll never know what it is because what are the odds of me street passing somebody who's also playing the game? I don't even leave the house with my 3DS, so. But for $40, it's a full-on Resident Evil with a co-op mode that unlocks afterwards. It's better than Resident Evil 5. What else can I say? And the other game I picked up was the first game I've bought for my PlayStation 3 since Little Big Planet 2. If you know me, I'm not a big PlayStation 3 fan. The system. I think it just doesn't do it for me because there's always like all these like loading. There's always like system updates, and you have to keep on agreeing to terms of service, and you have to install shit all the time, and updates take longer. Like overall, like that shit is just kind of fucking sucks, and then the online in general is just it's not up to snuff with Xbox Live, um, and just shit like that. Like if you get an update on an Xbox 360 game, it's 2 seconds, you're done, you're in the game. And here it's like you're always waiting a minute or two, or God knows how long. You know it's a process when you buy a game. You know it's a process before you're actually fucking playing the game. I don't like that, and I just prefer the 360 controller. Yeah, you have to pay for Xbox Live, but I think it's worth it, and I like the 360 controller. I just like how much smoother your experience is on 360. So I have both systems, and if I prefer 360, I'm not going to buy that many games for PS3 unless they're exclusive and I really want them. And so it's a long way of me getting to saying I bought Twisted Metal for PS3. Check that shit out. Um, my first Twisted Metal, because I never owned a PlayStation 2 back in the day. I was a Nintendo fanboy kind of growing up. Maybe one day I'll show you my GameCube collection. It's not that big. I've sold a lot of it, but that was my system back in that area. In that era, I had GameCube, nothing else. But they had a demo for this like a week or two ago, whatever, and I tried it out, and I'm like, I like this. This is like the controls are really hard and different from most driving games. Like instead of pressing one of the trigger buttons for the gas, it's a square on the PlayStation controller. Like that's go, that's brake. Like it's really weird, and it's using all the buttons and like some in multiple ways. Like your L1 and R1 cycle through your weapons, but you press them both at the same time. It's jump. I mean, it's a really busy control scheme. So it took me a while to get used to that, but then once it got going, like once I got into it, I was like, man, this is a really fun type of game. Like it's just like an old school type game that you don't see anymore. Now, like I never played like the older Twisted Metals, but this reminded me of a game I was very fond of on N64 called Battle Tanks and Battle Tanks Global Assault. they were slower paced than it was on N64, but it's, you know, vehicle combat and just really simple kind of arcadey fun. And the demo for Twisted Metal was like that captured that. Like I wanted a game like that. You know, I'd rather it be on Xbox so I could play with my friends and talk to people, but because I don't have a headset on PS3. But you know, I just it stuck in my mind. I went back to go play the demo again, and they had taken it down. I'm like, fuck, I want to play some more of the demo. And like I was obsessing about it for days. So finally, I'm like, fuck it. I just bought the game, and you know, first impressions, I'm like 4 levels into the single player. I played like an hour or so of the multiplayer. First impressions, you know, very old school, very fun, very fucking hard. The single player is like crazy hard. Like it's almost up there with like F-Zero GX hard. Like I don't know how I'm ever gonna get through it, but you find a way sometimes. Like there was one level I was stuck on where like I think it was like this cage thing. Where they keep moving the cage around the level, and you had to keep moving. If you're outside the cage, you're taking damage. You had to kill everyone else. And then it's like, I don't know, I tried like Sweet Tooth's vehicle and I fucking was just annihilating everybody, and then I beat the level. I was like, alright. But now I'm in this level after that where it's like a race, and I'm like, there's no way I could catch up to the guy. At first I'm going to have to somehow take him out. Just really hard events. You gotta strategize and find a way and try different vehicles and weapons and shit till you figure it out. And the multiplayer is just a fucking blast. Like, I'm not that great at it. There's people that just demolish me, but just really fun, man. I wish more people would get this that I know and would, like, I don't know, Skype it up with me and play it or something, because this game is fucking awesome. It's fucking hardcore. Uh, is it, like, if I'm being honest, like, you have to rush out and buy it? No, probably not. It'll probably drop in price, and it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You know, some might think, oh, this is like a dated style of gameplay, like, you know, vehicle combat doesn't belong these days. If anything, this just makes me wish that they would make like a new Battle Tanks and put it on Xbox Live or something. But yeah, I like it a lot. I'm gonna probably play some more right now and hopefully get past the event I'm stuck on. Um, Very fucking hard game though, man. And very weird control scheme if you've never played the older ones. But if you did play the older ones and you like them, you do get, I mean, you're going to like this, I think. You're going to love it. And you do get Twisted Metal Black download for free. So, anyways, that's the games I've been playing lately. I didn't try out the Mass Effect 3 demo yet. I'll probably actually do that right now. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts if you picked these up or if you were thinking about them. And, you know, what are you looking forward to? For me, after this, it's pretty much SSX and Mass Effect 3. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys.